Sew Pretty Kitty. This is my vlog where I talk about all the things I love about sewing. It's December, it's Christmas coming. I've had the stinkiest, horriblest cold, so I'm really sorry I didn't get to upload a video last week. I was just really croaky and yeah, not good. So this week I am back with my review of the Tilly and the Buttons Zadie dress. I've also made myself another dress, the Southbank sweater by Nina Lee. So I will talk about that one too. I've been doing lots of sewing, getting really festive, making presents. I finished my pom-pom wreath for the front door, so I will show you a picture of that too. I've got my little tree out. This year I decided I needed a tree, so this is my kitchen tree, and we've got fairy lights everywhere and just generally feeling very festive, so I hope you are too. So let's get started. If you don't know this pattern, this is the Tilly and the Buttons Zadie dress pattern. It's been out for quite a long time now, and it's been on my radar for ages. It's one of those dresses that's just really interesting in terms of construction. It's made of jersey, but it's got lots of panels and pleats and things I'd never done with jersey before. And when I first saw the picture, it sort of reminded me a bit of a Jules style dress maybe. I'll show you the line drawings on the back here. So you've got the option to either make a plain one or colour block, which is what I decided to do. You might remember in a previous vlog I showed you a Pinterest picture which was my inspiration, and I shall insert a picture of that here. I really liked the sort of more simple monochrome look. Because it's quite a busy dress anyway, I just wanted to go black and grey for the winter and give it a test run and see how it turned out. So this pattern comes, Tilly's sizing here is slightly different to conventional patterns, so you use your body measurements to make the sizes that are specific to her pattern range. So I made a size 3, I think, in the end. Either a 3 or a 4. I know that my measurements are slightly in between the two. And I've made my dress out of some Ponte Roma, which I got from the Knitting and Stitching show. I don't recall which stall it was from, but Ponte is really quite easy to come by now. It's quite a popular fabric. It's a very stable knit, so it doesn't stretch too much. It's quite thick. It's lovely and warm for the winter, and it really is quite easy to sew. It's nice and stable, so a good one to try for the first time with all these amazing different details that are on this dress. So if you've never bought a Tilly pattern before, what have you been doing with your life? Honestly. So they come with these lovely booklets. The booklets with these patterns are some of the best of all the indie pattern designers, I think, because you get colour photographs, step-by-step tutorials. So if you can see there, it really couldn't be more straightforward. It's very clear. I didn't really have any problem with any of the instructions. There are parts of the construction which make you scratch your head for 5 minutes whilst you're thinking, how does that work then? Particularly sewing the skirt portion to the bodice and getting the pivot point in the right place. So before I go any further, shall I just stand up and show you my dress? So I will insert a twirl of me wearing this dress so you can see it full length, but for the purposes of right now, here is the dress on. So you can see the main style feature of this dress is these enormous diagonal pockets that come right from the pleated skirt front. And I have to say, I've never been a massive fan of pockets in dresses, but I can see now why everyone loves a pocket. It's really impossible not to put your hands in these pockets. So a couple of things when you're making this dress. This section here needs to be really well stabilized, because you can imagine with it being a stretchy fabric anyway, the last thing you want is 2 enormous elephant ears sticking out of your hips. So let me just sit down and I'll talk you through that. So I used a product from Prym called Wonder Tape, I think it's called. Either Wonder Tape or Stabilising Tape. And I followed the instructions in the booklet for how to strengthen that angle so that it wouldn't stretch out. So that's really important to do that. The main thing about this dress is that you have to pivot. I don't know if anyone's seen Friends, that episode, I think, with the giant sofa that goes up the stairs where Ross gets really upset and yells pivot at everybody. There is a lot of pivoting in this pattern. You have pivot points on your pattern pieces. Really important that you mark all of the markings onto your fabric. So one thing I wish I'd done before I did this dress was use a different coloured chalk or something that would show up really clearly to mark my pivot points, because they really are essential to make sure you're accurate at getting this dress put together properly. And with a black and grey Ponte, you can imagine it's really quite hard to get anything that shows up well. And at one point I lost the pivot point, which, you know, when you're halfway through construction, these markings are really important. So definitely make sure you're very meticulous and mark all of your points on your pattern. The pivoting itself, so everything sort of comes together in the same place, and in theory that should mean that you don't end up with a hole, because you're stopping exactly in the same point for all the bits of fabric that come together. So I'm talking about this area here where you have a piece here, a pocket piece, the front of the skirt and the front of the bodice to join together. So everything needs to come to the same point without leaving a hole, and this is quite tricky to get right. So I managed to do it one side really quite well, and then the other side I had a bit of trouble with. I couldn't get the pieces to line up very nicely, so I had to take a bit of time over that. And in fact I did actually in the end up just doing a few little hand stitches on the ends here, because I was worried that there would be a gap, and you don't want a gap in your dress. So yeah, I hand stitched the tiny little, maybe about a centimetre from the end each side, just to make sure it wasn't going to come apart. It's got pleats in the front here, which are surprisingly easy to do in jersey. I've worked a lot with wovens and done lots of darts and pleats in my time, but not with jersey, and they were just as easy as sewing pleats in a woven garment. No problem at all there. When I first put the dress on, I wasn't sure whether I actually liked it. It kind of reminded me a bit of a maternity dress, so I'm not really used to wearing items of clothing that have gathers or pleats that high up on your body, unless you're pregnant. So I mean, this would make a great maternity dress. If you lengthen the front hem, you could wear this quite nicely through a lot of your pregnancy and be very comfortable. So it might be worth, if you are pregnant, hacking this into a maternity dress. Yeah, and also, what else to say? The neckband went in really nicely. No problems with that at all. It's quite a wide neck. I'm not sure whether this neckline is the most flattering on me. It's not a neck. I normally go for slightly higher or more of a boat neck. This is quite a scoop, so yeah, annoyingly it's not quite, my necklace is just that tiny bit too long to show with this dress on, so I need to wear a different necklace. The sleeves were okay, the right length. I haven't actually, I'm going to let you into a secret, I haven't hemmed it yet, so don't look too closely. They're a nice length, the sleeves. They're a nice fit. They are nice and snug without being too tight. And I probably just need to turn up maybe 1.5 centimetres on the hem and twin needle. The thing I had the most problem with this dress with was the length. I put it on and I just did not like it. It just felt really frumpy for some reason, and I was umming and ahhing about what to do, whether I actually had made a dress that I didn't like very much and whether to just sort of give up. and I tried it on one last time one evening, and there's a disclaimer, I had a glass of gin and tonic and was feeling slightly braver than usual, and I just hacked off 11 centimetres from the hem of this dress on a bit of a whim, because I thought, well, you know what, I don't think I'm going to wear it as it is. I think actually it's worked. I have worn this dress out and about, and it's super comfortable. It's really lovely and warm, and now that it's shorter, it feels a little bit more sort of trendy and a little bit younger than it did before. So it came to probably about an inch below my knee before I cut it off, and my alcohol-induced bravery, do not sew and drink. It's a bad combo. I cut maybe just a tiny bit too much off, so I haven't hemmed this dress because I think maybe it might be just a tiny bit too short if I hem it. I'm not sure. I probably could get away with the smallest hem ever and just twin needle it, or maybe use that Prym Wonder Tape, and yeah, not sure. I might be able to get away with using seam tape and just ironing it up just ever so slightly, but that seems like cheating. I've never done that. I always sew my hems. We'll see. Anyway, when I insert the twirls and things, you'll be able to see how short this skirt is. I don't think you can tell by me standing here unless I stand on the chair. So look, it's not indecent. It comes to, what, through 2 inches, maybe 3 inches above the knee. So, and I never intend to wear this dress without thick tights on underneath. So I always feel like you can get away with having a shorter skirt, being of a certain age, when you're wearing thick tights. So yeah, I maybe shouldn't have been quite so enthusiastic, and perhaps should have only cut maybe 9 centimetres off, and then I could have hemmed it up to where it is now. But all that aside, I think the fact that I did that has meant that it's much more wearable and that I like it now, whereas I was really not keen on it before. So it's going to be a good thing, huh? Yeah, so all in all, review. This was one of the patterns that I had in my mind to make for a really long time, and I'm glad I've made it. Some things are just like an itch that you just can't scratch. You've got to get on and have a go at it just to see, and I wanted to stretch myself a bit with the construction techniques that I've learned with this, and also, you know, it's a fun, interesting, different dress. So when I've worn it out, people have commented on it because, you know, you don't see another one. So that's got to be a good thing. It's kind of unique and interesting and different. Whether or not I'll make another one, I'm not too sure. I don't think it's kind of my style to go for maybe the stripy type look. I'm not sure. Yeah, it will stay in my pattern collection, and maybe one of these days I will want to make another one, but I've got no burning desires to make another one right now. So, moving on to other things I've been sewing this month, I will go and get changed into my Nina Lee Southbank sweater dress. So here I am back with my Nina Lee Southbank sweater dress. This pattern I've wanted to make for ages. Last winter people were making lots of these, particularly Amanda from I Sew A Lot. She always looks lovely in all the things she makes. And I saw this pattern at the Knitting and Stitching show and just thought, now's my time. I'm buying it for this winter, and I'm so glad I did. This is such a lovely pattern. So I'll show you the options on the back. You've got 3 options, the dress and then 2 sort of sweaters. One's a cropped one, one's sort of a hip length one. So you get 3 variations in one pattern, which is really good. I made the size 10. My body measurements worked out pretty much exactly to fit the size 10 according to the size chart. I have made my version in a really lovely teal blue Ponte Roma, which I got from a fabric shop in Ringwood. I was meeting some friends for a coffee, and I don't know if anyone, do you do this? Do you go somewhere new for the day and then Google fabric shops that might be there and then arrive half an hour early just so you can go and check them out? Anyone else do that? Or is that just me? So, yeah, it's not available online, unfortunately. They don't sell online, but it was a tiny little Aladdin's cave of fabric, and right at the back of this store, in amongst sort of like an eclectic mix of bits and pieces, was this beautiful Ponte Roma, which is so soft and really lovely quality. It was £8 a metre, and I bought 2 metres, and I didn't quite use the whole 2 metres. There's enough left to make maybe one of the kids something out of it. So the design is, I can't talk today, oh my goodness, it's this cold. Can you hear that I've still got a bit of a snotty nose? So the attraction of this dress is that it's a really comfortable, cosy, warm jumper dress, which just feels like you're wearing pyjamas out and about. It's just so comfortable, and at this time of year I'm really enjoying wearing all these lovely comfortable layers. So I made the size 10, like I said. You can see it's got this sort of funnel neck, which is not quite a roll neck and not quite a funnel neck really, and it's actually quite big on me. I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of room in this funnel neck, and I'm used to wearing things a little bit tight around the neck, so that was something that maybe indicated to me that perhaps I should have sized down one size with this pattern. I am wondering, because it is really quite roomy. You can see here I've got lots of room underneath the arm and around the bust. I'm not going to alter this particular dress because I like it as it is, just as a comfy dress, but I do really want to make more of these in all sorts of different colours. In fact, I think I would love to make one with some sort of novelty, like a Christmas jumper, but a Christmas jumper dress. That is what's playing on my mind at the moment, with some sort of design on the front that is fun and Christmassy. So the sleeves, lovely length, nice deep cuffs on there, not too tight but not too loose. I think the sleeves are absolutely fine for me, and I'll stand up and show you what I can. I have to stand on the chair. Look, this is where I've been wearing it so much. I just tried to get rid of that with a wet wipe and you can still see it. There's a little stain there, it needs a wash. So if I stand up, you can see the length. It is just above my knee. There's my knee there. So yeah, good length. The only thing that's making me wonder whether I should have gone a size smaller is the amount of fabric I've got round the middle here. So I will put some twirls in. What I really love wearing this dress with is I like to style it up with a leopard print scarf. So I think this teal blue and leopard print just goes really well together. So yeah, I love that. Really matches that colour really nice. It looks super with a pair of black boots on, so I'm pleased with that. I've also got another scarf that I picked up that you might be interested in from Primark of all places. So I don't do a great deal of clothes shopping anymore. Normally my clothes come from my imagination, so I think, oh, I'd really like a dress that's this colour or this style, and it just, I have to make it. So I don't buy an awful lot of clothes. I do still buy jeans. I haven't made a pair of jeans yet, and I do wonder whether life might be a bit too short to make my own jeans. since they, you know, I could understand if I had problems with fitting and stuff, but I can buy a pair of high street jeans okay. So that's probably the only thing really, and underwear, because we decided a long time ago that life was too short to make your own knickers. So I popped into Primark to get some bits for the stockings for the kids and saw this scarf in there, which is a black and grey, what would you call that? Is it like a leopard print? It's some sort of animal print look-alike. So whereas the other scarf I've got is quite silky and lightweight, this is a winter wool scarf, and I wear it like this with this dress. Oh, it's so snuggly and warm and cosy. So yeah, I really like that. I think that looks really nice, and it looks good with black boots. So I can't remember, this scarf was really inexpensive, being Primark. Couldn't have been more than a £5 maybe. I will find out and put it in the description box below, so if you're interested in getting one you can. But it's really ever so soft, and it feels like really reasonable quality. I'm not much into fast fashion, but I did see this and think, wow, you know what, you couldn't make this scarf that cheaply. So yeah, I grabbed it when I had the chance. So yeah, this is the Nina Lee Southbank sweater. No problems with making it. It's very straightforward. If you've ever made a sweatshirt before, you'll have no problems with this. I made the whole thing on my overlocker. It's got drop shoulders. I've not made anything with a drop shoulder before, so that was new. It's got a cuff around the bottom, which I like. The only thing I'm going to do, like I said, is maybe make the neck size down the next time, because either that, or I'm going to try and add a little bit of shaping at the waist here, just to take out some of this excess and make it feel a bit less shapeless. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm sorry if this video is a bit disjointed. I've had to stop to cough and blow my nose, and now I've got some Lemsip. I'm starting to feel a bit better. Yeah, so thanks for sticking around if you're still there. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll put my handle down here. And please press the subscribe button if you like my videos. I promise I'm not normally so full of germs. And come back next time for the next plans. What shall I plan now? It's tricky this time of year because there's just so much going on, but I'm sure I can squeak in a bit more sewing before Christmas. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. Bye.